I could not upload any videos yesterday. I was busy with some family engagements and I just came back a few hours ago after a long journey. Now from today we'll again start coverage of ongoing developments in Ethiopia. Firstly, Abune Mathias, Ethiopian Orthodox Church patriarch, has released a video message through TMH, Tigray Media House. Secondly, the issue of recruitments in Addis Ababa Police is becoming controversial. We have seen statements from at least two opposition parties. One is opposition party, other is part of government. They are rejecting new recruitments in Addis Ababa Police. What is the reason behind that? Thirdly, viewers, we know that last year in Tigray, 3 aid workers of an NGO were killed. They were working with Doctors Without Borders. Both parties, Tigray forces and Ethiopian National Defense Force, they accused each other of having killed the 3 aid workers because in that area in central Tigray, both parties were operating, Tigray forces and ENDF as well. Now, New York Times has published an investigative report about who killed MSF aid workers in Tigray last year. Then viewers, other news story is about OLA chairman Daud Ibsa. I reported in a previous video about his visit to National Election Board of Ethiopia. Now, Oromo Liberation Front has released a statement about Daud Ibsa. Has he been released? Lastly, Ethiopian government forces have arrested several persons who worked as members of interim government of Tigray. We know that after government forces took control of Mekelle in November 2020, at the end of November, an interim setup, interim government in Tigray was installed by federal government of Ethiopia. Now, those persons who worked as officials of the interim government, they have been arrested. How many have been arrested? Why were they arrested? We know that some of them were killed during the discharge of their duties. They came under attacks from Tigray fighters. Now, Ethiopian government is taking action against them, and most of them are Tigrayans. Why is that Ethiopian government has arrested these former Tigray interim government officials? Firstly, viewers, Abune Mathias, Ethiopian Orthodox Church head, has released a video message through TMH, Tigray Media House, which is seen as backed by Tigray government, Tigray diaspora, the news channel. Abune Mathias firstly condemned the killing of civilians, burning alive of civilians in Mekelle, Benishangul Gumuz region of Ethiopia. Secondly, he spoke on humanitarian situation in Tigray, in Ethiopia. Thirdly, he called for peace. He said, this war is spreading, it's consuming entire Ethiopia. We know that he's been trying to speak in recent months. Since the start of Tigray conflict, he's a Tigrayan. But we have heard reports that he was not allowed to speak. It is being said generally. And he has been criticized as well that he jumps to criticize Ethiopian government and he highlights atrocities against Tigrayans, but he does not highlight atrocities committed by Tigray Defense Force. Like he is speaking about civilians, Tigrayans burned alive in Matikal, BG. But he has not spoken about what TDF did in Amhara region, in Afar. Amnesty International, other international bodies, they have confirmed that dozens of women were raped in Amhara at the hands of Tigray fighters. Why is that Abune Mathias is silent on that? He represents entire Orthodox Ethiopian community. So if he is speaking about atrocities against Tigrayans, he should speak against atrocities committed by Tigrayans fighters in Amhara, Afar regions as well. That's criticism that we are seeing against Abune Mathias. Watch this small clip of Abune Mathias's long video message. It has English subtitles. Subtitles have been shared by some Tigray-backed news sources.
ከቅርብ ቀናት በፊት በቤኒሻንጉል ጉሙዝ መተከል አካባቢ በተፈጸመው ዘግናኝ እና እጅግ የሚያሳዝን ድርጊት ሐዘኔን ለመግለጽ ነው። ሰው አይኑ ያየ ከነ ህይወቱ እንደ ማገዶ እንጨት ወደ እሳት መክተት ማለት ምን ማለት ነው? ይሄ አረማውያን እንኳን የማያደርጉት ነው። አያደርጉ እንዲህ አይነት ተደርጎ የማይታወቅ ነው። በጣም የጭካኔ ነው። ከልክ ያለፈ ጭካኔና ጥላቻ ነውና የባሰ እየሄደ ነው ያለው ነገሩ። ሀገሪቱ መቼስ ከሚገባ በላይ ተጎድታለች እንጂ አልበለጸገችም። ትግራዮችን ለማጥፋት ተብሎ ጥፋቱ የጋራ እየሆነ ነው ያለው አሁን እና ይሄ ጉዳይ እኔ በዚህ እጅግ አዝኛለሁ። እኔ እስካሁን ድረስም እንዲህ አይነቱ እድልም ብዙ አላገኘው።
Secondly, viewers, issue of recruitments in Addis Ababa Police is becoming controversial. Addis Ababa Police is recruiting. We know that 50,000 new recruitments are going to be made in coming days. But Addis Ababa new recruitments will be done from other regions. The new recruits wouldn't be from Addis Ababa city. They would be from Oromia, Amhara, BG. Recruiting teams are visiting all regions, and this process has reportedly started. Two parties have rejected this process, Baldiras and Azima. Both parties say that Addis Ababa police recruitment should be from within the city. People of Addis Ababa, youth of Addis Ababa should be recruited. And secondly, criticism against these recruitments is coming amid reports that 30,000 new recruits will be from Oromia. We know that Baldiras, Azima, other Amhara region-based groups and parties, they oppose increasing Oromo penetration, Oromo infants in Addis Ababa. And we do know that Oromo Liberation Army, other Oromo factions, they say Finfane is part of Oromia. Addis Ababa is Finfane basically. So they don't want these Azima, Baldiras party, they don't want such large number of new recruits from Oromia. That is why they are rejecting this new recruitment process in Addis Ababa Police. Let's see, will the police reconsider its decision of recruitments from outside of the city? Thirdly, viewers, we have a new story from Central Tigray. We know that in June last year, 3 aid workers were killed. They were working for Doctors Without Borders. Maria Hernandez, Tedros Ghebreyesus, Johannes Selefon. These three workers of MSF, they were riding an MS vehicle near Abe, Central Tigray. They were stopped there. They were shot dead. Their bodies were found with bullet wounds. When they were shot, they were riding a vehicle which had MSF logo. Their clothing also had MSF logos. So they were not, it's not that they were not identified. No, they were identified as aid workers, but still they were killed. Then we saw conflicting statements from Tigray Defense Force, from Tigray politicians and Ethiopian government. Both rejected the killings and both accused each other of the killings. Now, New York Times has published an investigative report about this incident. New York Times contacted some locals. It interviewed some officials of Ethiopian National Defense Force as well. And the story claims that an Ethiopian colonel ordered the killing of these aid workers. His name is Colonel Tadase. He was not there on the spot. Reportedly on a wireless set, he ordered the killing of the three aid workers. Why were they killed? Because they were found in active combat zone without any approval. So that is why they were killed. Now this organization MSF has released a statement. It is urging Ethiopian government to take action based on this investigative report of New York Times. Will the government take action against Colonel Tadase? Fourthly, viewers, in a previous video, I reported about Daud Ibsa OLF chairman that he had visited National Election Board of Ethiopia. He has been under house arrest for more than a year. How did he visit the NEBE headquarters? It means that he has been released. Now we have an official statement of the party, Oromo Liberation Front. OLF has confirmed that Daud Ibsa did visit NEBE office, National Election Board of Ethiopia office. So he was allowed to visit. It means that he was allowed to move from his house to NEBE office. And the statement says that OLF chairman there discussed with National Election Board of Ethiopia issues necessary for free movement of OLF chairman to discharge his duties as the party chairman. The statement does not reject or confirm that he has been released. It is only confirming that he visited National Election Board of Ethiopia, because we know that last year OLF party filed a complaint with National Election Board of Ethiopia that its chairman was under house arrest. Then National Election Board of Ethiopia formed an inquiry team which visited OLF chairman, and then after the findings of this inquiry team, National Election Board of Ethiopia wrote a letter to NIS, Intelligence Agency of Ethiopia, and Federal Commissioner, Police Commissioner of Ethiopia, to end illegal house arrest of Daud Ibsa. Then this meeting happened. So he was allowed to move from his house to NEBE office. That is what we can now confirm. Lastly, viewers, former officials of Tigray interim government have been arrested. Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia has also confirmed that at least 8 officials of interim Tigray government have been arrested by government security forces. When fighting started in November 2020 in Tigray, after a few weeks of this fighting, Tigray government was dislodged. An interim government was installed in Tigray. Interim government officials, some of them were from Prosperity Party, some were Tigrayan, some were non-Tigrayans. Tigray fighters carried out attacks on these interim government officials as well. Some were killed too. Then TDF took control of Mekelle. Interim government came to an end in June last year. How many former officials of Tigray interim government have been arrested so far? Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia says that 8 have been arrested by government security forces. Names have not been shared by either government or by Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia. But Reuters have shared some names. Reuters says that at least 12 Tigrayans have been arrested. One activist and another one member have been arrested. So 14 have been arrested according to Reuters. And one of the 14 is Abira Negus. Abira Negus was head of Tigray Justice Bureau with Tigray interim government. Secondly, deputy director of Tigray's state media. And thirdly, zonal admin, one of the zonal administrator has been arrested. These were all Tigray interim government officials. Why is Ethiopian government arresting these Tigrayan government officials? Because they are aligned with Prosperity Party, and some of them are members of PP. We don't know, so for no official statement. The move could be linked to embezzlement. The move could be linked to their duties while they were working as Tigray government officials. Let's see. We'll update you in coming videos. Thank you for watching.